Welcome to my channel, The Tadka Project. Today I'm going to show you how to make a classic cilantro and mint chutney, or more commonly just known as green chutney. And with that chutney, I'm going to show you how to make the easiest Indian style chutney sandwich. So let's get cooking. For my green chutney, here I have a whole bunch of fresh cilantro. This comes up to around 1 cup of packed cilantro. I have 8 to 10 large mint leaves. If your mint leaves are smaller, you can do around 15 to 16 leaves. I also have a quarter of a large lemon, which comes up to around 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. 1 Thai green chili. If your chilies are not as spicy as Thai green chili, you can use around 2. And I also have half an inch of ginger that I have peeled and roughly chopped. A quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder. 1.5 tablespoons of ground coriander seed powder, half a tablespoon of cumin seed powder, half a tablespoon of sugar to balance out any bitterness in the chutney. For the prep, I'm just going to roughly chop my cilantro, get rid of any of the large stems that are really thick, and I'm going to leave in the stems that are thin and tender. And also make sure to wash your greens really well, because herbs can be really dirty and filled with mud. I've also separated my mint leaves from the stalk. I've chopped my Thai green chili in 2. And as mentioned earlier, I just peeled my ginger and roughly chopped it. And now it's time to blend. Here I have a blender jar to which I'm going to add all the roughly chopped cilantro leaves, the mint leaves, peeled and chopped ginger, the chili, coriander seed powder, cumin seed powder, a quarter teaspoon of turmeric powder, the lemon juice, the sugar, and I'm also going to salt this to taste. I'm also going to add quarter cup of water to help with the blending process. You don't want to add too much water because the stalks of the cilantro will have enough moisture in them and you don't want the chutney to get too runny. So you can start with a quarter cup, and then if you feel like it's still too thick for you, you can always adjust later. This is totally optional, but I also like to add a tablespoon of a flavorless oil like sunflower oil to my chutney during the blending process, which makes it look very luscious and bright. Now I'm just going to blend this till smooth. So I blended my chutney till smooth, and as you can see, it has a really nice consistency. And at this point, you can taste check for salt. And if you feel like your chutney is too thick, you can also add more water now. And if you feel like your chutney has still got a lot of bitterness to it, you can adjust it by adding more sugar and lemon juice. Now to put the sandwich together, I'm just going to start spreading the chutney generously on some toasted slices of bread. I toasted my bread with olive oil. You can use a vegan butter substitute if you prefer that. And you can use any bread of your choice, but it's best to stick with the softer and fluffier varieties. Here I'm using a gluten-free bread, but obviously you don't have to make this gluten-free if you don't have any sensitivities. Traditionally, you start making a chutney sandwich by first spreading a thick layer of butter. You can totally do that with vegan butter, but I'm just going to start by directly spreading on the chutney generously onto the sandwich. You want to make sure to get the chutney all the way to the end so that it's packed with flavor. So the vegetables that I like to use for the chutney sandwich are sliced cucumbers, sliced tomatoes, and boiled beets and boiled potatoes that I've also sliced. Beets and potatoes are very classic to the Mumbai style chutney sandwich. You can also add lettuce and red onions as well. So now I'm going to start adding all my vegetables. First, I'm going to start by adding a layer of the sliced boiled potatoes. I'm also going to salt this and also give it a nice sprinkle of chaat masala for that extra flavor. This is completely optional, but it does make the sandwich taste really flavorful. So I'm just going to continue this process till I've added all of my vegetables. I'm going to add the tomatoes, top it with salt and chaat masala. Similarly with the cucumbers, and the boiled beets. I've also generously spread chutney on the other slice of bread as well, and I highly recommend you do this so that your sandwich is extra flavorful. So I'm just going to give my sandwich a nice press with my hands so that it's easier to cut. And I'm also going to serve it with a side of crispy potato chips. So this is one of my favorite ways to use this Indian style green chutney. You can also mix the chutney with some vegan yogurt or veganese to make it creamier, which makes for a really delicious spread for wraps and rice cakes and sandwiches. And the sandwich is highly versatile as well. Like I mentioned, you can also add onions and lettuce, skip the beets or potatoes, although I highly recommend adding them because it is very traditional. You can also use this chutney as a dip for sides such as stickies, pakoras, or even fresh vegetables. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this recipe and let me know how you made it your own in the comments below. And please like and subscribe because I come out with new videos every Sunday.